Military servicemen and women transitioning from military life to civilian life feel very overwhelmed, and it's important for returning veterans to maximize their potential in the workplace to better prepare themselves for the next chapter in their professional lives. Tina is with a retired colonel to tell us how we can do that. Tina?
As the Department of Defense calls for further major reorganization after decades of major troop deployment, tens of thousands of American troops are preparing to transition out of the military into civilian life. Retired Army Colonel Garland Williams is sharing tips on how returning heroes can have a successful post-military career. Thank you for joining us, Colonel.
Thank you for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Let's actually kind of get like a first-hand account. How was it you returning into civilian life?
You know, the only thing that's common across everybody's military career is that at some point it's going to end. You know, and for me, I retired about 5 years ago after 28 great years in the Army. I retired as a colonel, had a chance to get my PhD, commanded at all levels, and also had a chance to work on a couple of books. And I thought I was ready. But when I actually hit transition, I realized there were so many choices out there, I was overwhelmed. And at the University of Phoenix, we recently did a survey, and we found about 34% of our active duty and veterans had a transition plan. That means 2/3 of the respondents were like me. They really didn't have a clue on what they wanted to do and ran into some walls.
And do you think maybe people aren't aware that there's a lot of free resources out there for them?
I think so. In addition to what we have at the university at phoenix.edu, there's also the Department of Labor's Transition Assistance Program. This is a 1- and 2-week program that service members are taking right before they exit the military. And it's 1 or 2 weeks as you choose different options. And they learn how to write a resume, both federal and civilian. They learn what their VA benefits are. They learn what their education benefits are. And like me, you know, I was in the military wearing a uniform for 28 years. They learn how to dress for success to make sure they present themselves well. And they also do mock interviews to make sure they come across more civilianized than what they would as a military member. Another one is the Hiring Our Heroes. We partner with Hiring Our Heroes where they have over 200 job fairs across the country throughout the year. Their sole purpose is to put veterans to work, and the corporations and companies that show up for those job fairs must have jobs open for the veterans to be able to interview for. You can find more information for them at hiringourheroes.org.
And now if somebody has maybe a family member or maybe a personal friend that's kind of transitioning into that civilian life, what can they do to kind of help along?
Well, the thing about it, in the military, we're told where to go, when to go, and how to go, and once we hit that spot, we have overwhelming choices. So the first thing is just to encourage the service member that everything is going to be okay. The second thing is to encourage them to start early. About 2 years out from transition will allow you to assess your experience, assess your education to see if there's any gaps, and be able to shore those up before you hit transition.
And Colonel, one more time, where is some places that we can go to get some more information?
At the University of Phoenix, you can go to phoenix.edu/military to find out what programs we offer and what transition advice. Plus, you can go to hiringourheroes.org and the Department of Labor's Transition Assistance Program.
I love that there's so many places that we can get those resources, and I thank you also, Colonel, for definitely giving out that information with us this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Everyone, don't go anywhere. The Morning Blend will be right back.